All praise is due to Allah, who came in the person of the Master Farad Muhammad and raising up among our midst a messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Thank God for those two brothers, because they made those who were attentive to the lessons and the teachings aware. In your general orders in the FOI, I think the first one is to say take charge of this post and all the temple property that's in view. Well, the whole planet is the temple of Islam. Your body is the domain of the Most High. And so we walk our post in a perfect manner, being always on alert. So he made me realize that if the Caucasian in the United States of America was trying to help me in his educational system, I would see my heritage or my ancestors in the textbooks early on in kindergarten, in the early grades. In the early grades in elementary school, they teach you a little French, they teach you English, teach you just some Spanish, and they teach you where the English names, how far they go back, and who the noblemen are. And in every European country, they teach you all about themselves. And they be lying too. But they don't teach you about yourself. They don't teach you any African language. And if you are branded with a European or English name, they don't tell you why you got that name, why you ain't got an African name. And you look around you, see most children nowadays, they don't, they so gullible, and they mamas and daddies don't tell them to give them any kind of self worth or self consciousness of why they are darker than the Caucasian. And so they think Santa Claus is a saint, an angel. A lot of them believe he's for real. So this gives them inferiority complex subconsciously. And they don't stop to think, what is my original language? Now, they tell you Hebrew and Arabic, are from the Middle East. But they don't tell you that it's over there. That's Africa. They don't want to tell you that's Africa, and Arabic is an African language, and Hebrew is an African language, originated by the black man. They don't want to tell y'all that. And so, and you don't ask no questions why. Only thing you want to do is get a good grade so you could work for Mr. Charlie, work for Uncle Sam, and he'll pat you on the back and pat you on the head and say, good job, good boy, good boy. So that should tell you right there that they don't mean you no good. They want to keep you deaf, dumb, and blind. You know? So how can you trust, but when you do wake up, how can you trust someone that tried to keep you in the dark, wants to keep you in the dark, wants to keep you behind times, behind their knowledge? They don't want you to have the knowledge that they got, because you might give them some problems. But they're not thinking either. They're not thinking. They're so afraid that you're going to put them in their proper place that they're not thinking that they're mistreating you and denying you real justice. And that the way the universe is made, that it's going to balance itself out one way or the other, either with or without them. But this is what Master Farad told the brothers in Detroit Temple number 1, Michigan, what to do in the Supreme Wisdom lesson number 1. Let's check it out.
Lessons by Master Farad Muhammad to his servant, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the Lost Found Nation of Islam in North America. To the Muslims of number 1, Michigan. The following is the original rules of instruction to the laborers of Islam, and the title of Muslim given by our Savior before his departure, with a footnote of a few words of explanation to lay pressure upon their minds of their many errors in the past and present, that they may see the light and walk therein. I thank you, Elijah Muhammad. Instructions given to the laborers by our Savior, W.D. Farad Muhammad. 1. The student must study his assignment, lesson number 1. Each student should copy the answers of lesson of Minister Elijah Muhammad and study until the student is able to memorize by heart all answers to of said lesson number 1. Note: here, lesson number 1 is said to be the student's assignment first. Lesson number 1 lays the base of our work today and gives the student a clear knowledge of himself and his heavenly home, the best part of the earth, and who was the enemy to him and his nation, and why the enemy and righteous could not live together, and why was the righteous able to cast out his enemy. This teaches the student what he must do with the enemy of the righteous today. The righteous nation is now living in every part of the planet Earth. Therefore, the enemy must now be removed in every part of the planet Earth. Why is stress made to the Muslims to copy the minister?
I'm gonna stop it right there, because this is instructions to the Muslims. They said the enemy must be removed in every part of the earth. The enemy must be removed in every part of the earth. These are instructions. So I want you to forgive these background noises. If you hear like wind blowing and air blowing, the enemy is to be removed in every part of the earth. Starting with Michigan. That's why he came to Detroit. And they was removed. That's why it's 86. They say it's still 86%. I don't know if that's accurate, but it's over 50% black that's here in Detroit, Michigan. Now, all y'all scary brothers and sisters, don't jump to no conclusions. I think we just gonna go around killing Caucasians. We don't work like that. But now this coronavirus, we don't know how this gonna turn out. Are we gonna be in permanent quarantine? Are they going to try to give us a vaccination, mandatory vaccination, without long-term testing of it? There's so many contradicting stories about this vaccination, so many contradicting stories about the coronavirus. Who should we believe? Well, I know we got to take charge if we in the dominant people over here in Detroit. We got to take charge and scrutinize everything. Get some kind of committees together and scrutinize the government, the governors, the mayor, the news. You know, you can't trust none of it. To be continued.